Respected dignitaries on the stage, my dear colleagues and students, very good morning to all. Today we have esteemed guest with us from the Department of Health, Government of Karnataka. I'm very happy to introduce them. Dr. Bhujubali T. Elgudri, District Malaria Officer, Government of Karnataka. We have Dr. Karthik, Jigni Medical Officer. We have Senior Health Inspecting Officer Ramesh S. And also Sri Govardhan PT. Taluk Senior Health Inspecting Officer Prakash MR. Along with we have Sri Pashaji and Sister Gauramma and all our Asha workers and team. ಎಲ್ಲ ಅಧಿಕಾರಿ ಬಂಧುಗಳಿಗೆ ಪ್ರಶಾಂತಿ ಕುಟೀರ, ಎಸ್ವ್ಯಾಸ ಯೂನಿವರ್ಸಿಟಿ ಹಾಗೂ ಸುಶ್ರುತ ಗ್ರೂಪ್ ಆಫ್ ಇನ್ಸ್ಟಿಟ್ಯೂಷನ್ ಪರವಾಗಿ ಹೃತ್ಪೂರ್ವಕವಾದ ಸ್ವಾಗತವನ್ನು ಬಯಸ್ತೇನೆ. So, all of you know that from couple of weeks, or we can say from couple of months, the Karnataka was in the news because of this dengue and malaria. With the effort of our Department of Health, almost now it's controlled. We can happily announce that also. We can witness in our campus also, last 15 days back there was 8 to 9 cases. Now it's almost only 1 case yesterday. So it's because of the effort and guidance given by our all government team who have visited here and guided us how to control. We are extremely happy, sir, and thank you for our guidance to control this dengue and malaria also. But it should not spread again. So we should not be lazy. That's why again team has come to give again the awareness of malaria and dengue so that the control should be very effective for us. So they are here. So I will hand over the mic to the officer who are presenting and will make an awareness now.
Thank you for your introduction, sir. Good morning, everybody. Am I audible? Am I clear with my voice? Okay. Thank you for the opportunity you have given for the Department of Health and Family Welfare regarding the awareness of vector-borne diseases, mainly dengue right now. The time given for me is half an hour. Within half an hour, I'll cover the main important points, what has to be done by you, what has to be done by us, and what has to be done by the community. As you know, this is the rainy season. Are you comfortable with English or Kannada something? I heard that majority of them are English speaking, so I'll go with the English only. Okay. As you know, this is a rainy season, and the vector-borne diseases are more here in this season from June to December of month. I think you might have heard about the vector-borne diseases like malaria, dengue, kala azar, chikungunya, Cashnose forest disease and everything. But mainly in Bangalore, dengue is more prevalent. Malaria, we are in the elimination stage. In the elimination stage means since from 3 years we don't have any indigenous case. Indigenous case means the cases which are originally from the Bangalore area. We have got the imported cases from North India, but we don't have any malaria cases in Bangalore. So in the elimination stage. Hardly few cases are there in Karnataka, that too in Udupi and Mangaluru district, where there are around 500 to 600 cases are reported in the coastal belt of Karnataka. So with the efforts of government as well as our health department and everything, we are in the elimination stage of malaria. And today I'll be discussing about the dengue only. Because of lack of time and everything, just briefly I'll go through the dengue. Do you know what is dengue? Dengue fever? I want your participation also. It is not a one-way lecture. I want a discussion with you or all the medical students also here. Anybody else? Have you heard about the dengue fever? Yes. Have anybody suffered from dengue? No. Nobody. In your lifetime, everybody have been suffered from dengue, I am telling you. In your lifetime, did you have fever any time? Fever any time you are having fever. Hello. Have you suffered from fever any time in your lifetime? Yes. Staying in Bangalore or in any other part of Karnataka, if you have suffered from fever, especially in Bangalore, you have crossed one stage of dengue. How? I will tell you. There are mainly three types of dengue fever here. Initially it was called as dengue fever, dengue hemorrhagic fever and dengue shock syndrome. Dengue fever, initially if it comes, means it will comes with a headache, retroorbital pain, myalgia, body ache, pain in the abdomen, everything. It will be mild. At that time, what do you think? You go to the medical shop, otherwise you'll be having a paracetamol tablets with you. You just take for 2 or 3 days, it will go. Is it right? There are mainly 4 serotypes of dengue, I am telling you. Type 1, type 2, type 3 and type 4. If you have been suffered by type 1, for example, serotype 1, for the first time in your life, that will be a mild infection. It will last for 3 or 5 days and it will go off if you don't take the treatment also. And it is a symptomatic treatment. If you go into the complications of dengue also, it is a symptomatic treatment. If the bite is for the first time of the serotype 1, it will be a lifelong immunity. Did you get my point? Suppose if you get the bite of serotype 2 again, once again, you will land up into the complications where you will be hospitalized, where will be the hemorrhagic crisis, erythema, vomiting, everything will find. Did you get it? If in this area, if the serotype 1 is prevalent here, if you get the bite of serotype 1 here, if 1,000 times the mosquito bites also, you won't get the symptoms and everything. But if serotype 2 bites or serotype 3 bites or serotype 4 bites, you will end up into the complications. This is the first point you have to remember it. All of you might have suffered from headache, retroorbital pain, nausea or vomiting sensations, body ache or joint pains. Those are the symptoms of the dengue. Okay. How the dengue is caused then? By which vector? Aedes aegypti or Aedes albopictus. Okay. The dengue, the virus is carried by this. It is a vector. It carries from the mosquito carries the virus from one place to the another place. These are the mosquitoes. Have you seen the mosquitoes? Can you identify the dengue, this one, Aedes aegypti mosquito? How it is? There are different species of mosquitoes. Female anaphylaxis causes malaria. Female Aedes aegypti causes dengue fever. And many other diseases also. Can you identify those mosquitoes? Identifying those mosquitoes also very important. All the mosquitoes are harmful in life. No. All the mosquitoes are not harmful in life. Few are the mosquitoes which are harmful in life. There's a saying, the sweetest or the melodious song in the world is sung by the mosquito. Whether you like it or not, you have to clap it. So all the mosquitoes are not harmful. This Aedes aegypti, mainly I am concentrating on the dengue, it has got a strips on its wings, on its body, what we call as a tiger mosquito. And it is a daytime biter. And it lives in a clean and fresh water. It is a daytime biter, it lives inside, it feeds on the human blood. It may feed on the animal blood also. And where we can get these mosquitoes? Mainly indoors, where you have got the ornamental plants, where you have got the money plants, where you have got the coolers, where you have got the refrigerators, where there is a stagnation of water, there will be the breeding of mosquitoes. Even 2 to 5 ml of water is enough for the mosquitoes to breed for for this Aedes aegypti. What are the stages of this mosquito? First, the Aedes aegypti bites a human being. Why it bites? Come on, I want the answers from you. Already 10 minutes are over, 20 minutes are remaining. Why it bites? For its food or something else? Mainly for its food. Why it bites the human blood? Many mosquitoes are there, you can see in the forest and everything. They feed on the plants and aquatics and everything. They also survive. It bites mainly the human blood because of reproduction. Because of its reproduction. The female bites because of its reproduction. When the Aedes aegypti bites the humans, which is infected, if the mosquito is not infected, the dengue won't come. It should be infected. If it bites the human blood, within 2 or 3 days, the man gets infected. He will have the symptoms of dengue. As I said, within 48 to 72 hours, you will be having a high-grade fever. You will be having a severe headache. You will be having a pain behind the ears. You will be having a nauseating-like sensations. You will be having a full body ache and sometimes the joint pains. After this, you have got 3 phases of this one, what we call as the febrile phase, critical phase, and the recovery phase. What do you mean by the febrile phase? In the initial 3 or 4 days, whatever the symptoms we get, whatever the fever we get, that is called as the febrile phase. After that, the fever subsides, what we call as a critical phase. What we think is when the fever has gone, we think that the dengue has gone, but the real game starts there. In the critical phase, the fever goes down, but the immunological reactions, as in COVID, what we say, cytokine storm and everything, from 4 day to 7 day, it is very much important. At that time, the platelet count starts decreasing. It may be from 1.5 to it may decrease up 50,000 per day, 30,000 per day. And up to 7th day, 4th to 6th or 7th day, if you recover from that critical phase, the next phase will call as a recovery phase. At that time, your symptoms start improving. You feel little bit hungry, and that weakness what you have got, that also comes down. You will like to eat more. You will be just like a well-being. There will be 3 phases. When you cross these 3 phases, in the recovery phase, if you don't get the fever for more than 24 hours without the paracetamol tablet, then you are recovered from the dengue. This is all about the dengue. But when the mosquito bites, these all the reactions will take place. But what are the stages of mosquito I am telling you? When the mosquito bites the human being for its reproduction, this Aedes aegypti, it bites multiple times. If it bites once, after 1 hour it may bite the another, after 2 hours it might be the another. But not in case of female Anopheles mosquito which causes the malaria. If it bites, if its tummy is full, it go and rest in the dark places, somewhere behind the cots or the hangers or anything. It won't come for 24 to 48 hours. But this day biter, Aedes aegypti, it bites multiple times on the human beings, and when it bites, because of its reproduction. And when the male and female mates, it lays around 300 to 400 eggs on the clean water. Clean water means the indoor plants which we have kept inside the houses, or the water where it is stagnant in tires which we have thrown outside, or the coconut shells which are lying outside, whatever it may be, where there is a stagnation of water, the breeding starts there. Once it lays eggs on that stagnant water, it goes into 4 stages: egg, larva, pupa, and adult. Within 1 week, it goes into the adult stage. After the adult stage is there, it starts flying, and these female mosquitoes, when it bites the infected person, it also gets infected and starts on biting and getting the transmission of dengue fever. And this female mosquito survives for more than 4 weeks, up to 35 days, maximum it can survive up to 35 days. This female around 15 to 18 days. But in laboratories and everything, we have seen that it has been survived up to 120 to 125 days. This is about the dengue, I am telling you. I think you have got the gross idea what is dengue and everything. Why we create awareness in this month only? Is that anti-dengue month? And by creating awareness about the dengue and everything, you will come to know how to prevent this transmission. This is all about the basics about the dengue. But if you go to the prevention, as a role of the medical students as well as the community as well as the teachers over here, take home message from our department is, you are medical students, okay. You are staying here, or if you go home or something, you can educate at least 4 to 5 persons there how to prevent the dengue. What is the main intention behind this dengue prevention is, wherever the useless stagnant water is, just empty it. It may be a container, it may be a land, where is the deep borrow where the stagnation of water is taking place. If there is a shortage of water also in villages, we see that many of the drums and barrels which are filled with water. Okay, that's good. They need the water for everyday purpose or every use. If they store the water also, suggest them to cover it with the cover, cap or something. Or weekly once, you have to clean that tanks, barrels and everything. Because if the mosquitoes are breeding in that, the stages of larva and everything, it will be there. Suppose these mosquitoes are desiccate. Desiccate means if there is no water also, the eggs which will be there attached to that barrel and everything, if they get the warm temperature and everything between 16 to 30 degrees centigrade and humidity of 70%, if they come in contact with the water, they start developing. This is the one thing. And in homes, daily or weekly once, you have to check your refrigerator, fridges, where the water will be coming inside, coming outside the fridge and everything. There, even small 5 ml or 10 ml, that you have to check it. ACs you have to check it, air coolers. These things you have to do it. This is one of the source reduction activities what we are doing. Every ASHA is going to house here and seeing the barrels, tanks and everything. If the water is useful, if they are using it, we go for the chemical control. What we call as a Temifos, we put it here in the correct dilution and everything. So that the larva will be just destroyed within 1 hour, 2 hours. We can use that water for external purpose, not for the drinking purpose. And the biological control, what we are doing is, I have seen lakes and everything here, somewhere the water which was stagnant here. We have got guppy and gambusia fishes. Guppy and gambusia fishes, they eat the larva. They stay on the periphery of the water, not inside the water. If you leave the fishes, if the breeding site is there, where the stagnant water is there, that guppy and gambusia fishes will eat those larvae. This is the, which is called as the biological control of dengue control and everything. Yeah, these are the feces. If you need any feces from our department, you can contact any of our health inspectors or anything. They will release the feces in your this one, which will be the good control of your this one, dengue control and everything. And I'll rush through a few slides. There are a lot to tell about this dengue and everything, but whatever you need, how to identify the mosquito and everything, within 5 to 10 minutes, I'll just finish off. Slides, you can go through the slides now. Next. Why you are learning? This is the one. What we call it as a vector bionomics. These are the vector-borne diseases: malaria, dengue, chikungunya, Japanese encephalitis, filaria, KFD, plague, and Kala-Azar. And these are the agent, vector, and host. You mainly concentrate on the dengue, which is a flavivirus agent, and 8 species is there. The host is the man. Unfortunately, these are in Kannada. Just what you need, I'll just show it. This is the Anopheles mosquito, female Anopheles mosquito, which causes malaria. And this is this is the Aedes aegypti mosquito. What I told you that strips are there, what we call as a tiger mosquito. This is the mosquito which is the causative agent for dengue fever. And this is the Culex mosquito, which causes lymphatic filariasis and everything. These are the body parts of the mosquito. Mainly we have got head, thorax, and abdomen. Suppose if there is any case of dengue or dengue death in your area, we collect the mosquitoes area of that area where the case is reported. We take these mosquitoes and we dissect the mosquitoes. We dissect the mosquitoes into head, thorax, and abdomen. And we see whether the dengue virus is present or not. Because when there is a report of any vector-borne disease in your area, we directly don't say that it is that case only. We have got other parameters to say that it is a positive case of dengue or malaria. If it supports all those cases, then we come to the conformity case of that vector-borne diseases. This is the mosquito head, which can be seen under the microscope. That is called as a proboscis, in which it pierces your skin and sucks the blood. And as I told, is the mosquito life cycle. These are the eggs. They convert into larva, pupa, and the adult mosquito. You might have seen those larvae floating in water and everything. Many of them say they are all small fishes or nothing. They are not those fishes, but these are all the larvae which are going to become into the adult mosquitoes. This is the life cycle. It takes 2 to 7 days to become a larva, 4 days to pupa. Overall, within 1 week, it will develop into an adult mosquito. You can see in the clear bottle, these are the eggs, and those convert into larva, pupa, and adults. This is the lifespan which I have told you. These are the Anopheles mosquito eggs, and this is the Culex eggs, and this is the Aedes eggs. If you want to study the vector bionomics of mosquitoes, different mosquitoes, eggs, larvae will be in a different place. They will be lying vertically or hanging towards the water surface and everything. But only one thing is you have to, right now you have to identify the dengue and its preventive measures. And this dengue mosquito has a flight range of 100 meters. It will be flying here only, overall, inside the vicinity or anything. But Anopheles, it has got a flight range of 400 meters, and Culex has got a flight range of around 11 kilometers or something. And these are the breeding habitats, as I told you, where the stagnant water is there, on the upper side where the wells are there, open wells, where the quarries as well as the construction sites where the water is stored. Everywhere, wherever the stagnant water is there, there is a chance of breeding of mosquitoes. I think you might have seen such type of pots, barrels, unused and everything thrown outside the houses, which are not useful and everything. Even a small amount of water can lead to breeding of mosquitoes. And these are the coconut shells, as well as this is the stone which is used in villages and everything to make chutneys or something, what we call, we don't know in English. Those are the tires, unused tires in KSRTC depots and everything. And those are the plastic plates which are being discarded, not discarded properly. And even in rubber plant in Kerala and everything, where that bucket is put or some chemical is put, even there also the breeding also takes place. And overall, if you come to the percentage, there are around 27% where the breeding takes in the cement tanks, solid waste 22% and others 22%, barrels and drums 22%, pots 19% and tires 1%. And these are the activities done by our health staff, source reduction activities. Daily our ASHAs visit around 30 houses. Each ASHA visits around 30 houses and finds the larva wherever it is there. And we have got the indices, house index, bread to index and the container index, where the house index is more than 10, if the bread to index is more than 50. You might not be understanding what are those indices. Indices means if the ASHA has examined around 100 houses, how many houses, that is the denominator, and how many larvae are found on that. Number of larvae found divided by the number of houses visited. If that index comes more than 10, then we have to take the severe preventive measures where the vector density and the larva is more there. Where we find the water stagnation in the refrigerator. These are rubber plants in Kerala, I think so. Yeah, these are the indices. Number of houses positive for AIDS larva, total houses searched, it should not be more than 10. Container index should not be more than 5. Breed index should not be more than 50. While doing the survey, we do all these indices and we take the preventive measures. What I told, more than 10% high risk of transmission of house index, more than 50% breed to index, high risk of transmission is there. Thank you. I understood clapping is enough.
So, what is the takeaway message? What is the takeaway message for us? If you breed, mosquito will bleed you. Point number 1. So what we have to do? Fight the bite and beat the dengue right. So this is the message given by our sir. So thank you, sir, for coming here and enlighten all our students and faculty to beat the dengue. So what is our action now? So from today, wherever the awareness we got now, sir has shown us the sources of the mosquitoes. You find in anywhere in the campus, voluntarily you destroy it. If you cannot bring to the notice of maintenance, then also you cannot send the photos to WhatsApp to me personally. I will destroy it through my maintenance team. Okay, that is the action from today. Immediately you have to start. I request our Registrar Sir and all principals to honor our district malaria officer and all his team for coming all the way from here and giving awareness, sir.
Please clap, ಜೋರಾಗಿ ಹೊಡೀರಿ, clap. ಜೋರಾಗಿ.